This next set of languages and language families is probably best viewed regionally. So if you can put them together where they are regionally, you're probably going to be able to digest them better and of course do better on the exam. The first of these families is the Sino-Tibetan family of languages. The Sino-Tibetan family of languages contains one of the largest languages in terms of native speakers on Earth. It may very well even be the largest natively spoken language on Earth. If you take a look at the Sino-Tibetan tree that I've just circled there, now you can see which language that's going to be. Indeed, it's Mandarin. Do you know where Mandarin is spoken and where it originated? That would be China. In fact, Mandarin is the official language of the People's Republic of China. You might recall that I talked before about pictograms, which are also known as ideograms. I'm using the term ideograms right now because the textbook uses that term, but these are interchangeable terms really. And what they are is drawings of things that are representing ideas and thoughts, nouns, verbs, actions, all kinds of things. If we take a look at them, so these are Chinese characters. This is the one for person. You can see that it looks like a person walking. And then how do you make the word for big? You take that person and that person stretches their arms out, indicating big. How do you like that? The word for heaven, it's the person with their arms stretched out plus something over the top of them. So it's so big, it's beyond a person, it's heaven. And then if you look, this is the word for sun. And at the same time, this is a word for white with this little hook on it. And then you can see this is white person. How do you like that? You know, the brilliance of the Chinese form of writing is this. There are multiple dialects of Chinese and they are not all mutually intelligible. So Mandarin is the most important one, but there's others like Cantonese, for example. But they all write in a very similar, in some cases, exactly the same way. In fact, Japanese has two ways of writing. One of them uses these characters. And so you can write something down using these characters, and the people who speak different versions of these languages, even a radically different language like Japanese, can look at the written form and read it, even though the way they pronounce the characters could be radically different and not be mutually intelligible. It would be something like this. If you can see here the words white and clear. If I wrote those words down in English as they are in English, and then I handed it to someone who spoke Spanish, they would be able to read those words even though they do not speak English at all, but they would pronounce them radically differently. And then they could hand those same two words written down to somebody who speaks French, and they would be able to read it. And then somebody who speaks German, and they would be able to read it, even though all of these people would be pronouncing these words very differently. This is a distribution of the Sino-Tibetan languages. Notice it's mostly concentrated in China and then a bit of Southeast Asia. What about the rest of East and Southeast Asia? Well, these languages are found over here. So you can see each one of these is its own language family. So we're adding 4 language families right now. So we had Sino-Tibetan, now we're going to add these other 4. Here's what they are. The Austronesian family, which is the largest of the remaining 4. The Japanese family, which is the second largest of the remaining 4. The Austroasiatic family, which is the third largest. And the Korean family, which is the fourth largest. These are the language families of East and Southeast Asia, excluding, of course, Sino-Tibetan family. So it's this area right here that I just circled. Let's take a look. With the Austronesian family, the 2 languages I want you to know that are associated with it are Javanese, which is the main language, or the largest language spoken in Indonesia, a country with lots and lots of other languages, and is spoken on the island of Java, and Tagalog. Do you know where Tagalog is spoken? That's correct, the Philippines. Excellent. Then the Japanese family, guess which language comes from that? That would be Japanese. Excellent. The Austroasiatic family, which is Vietnamese and Khmer. It's pronounced Khmer, not Khmer. Okay, it's Khmer, which is Cambodian. And the Korean family. Guess which language comes from that? Should I say it? Korean. Excellent.